More than 54 years ago, at the height of the Cold War, the United States closed its embassy in Havana. Today, I can announce that the United States has agreed to formally reestablish diplomatic relations with the Republic of Cuba and reopen embassies in our respective countries. When the United States shuttered our embassy in 1961, I don't think anyone expected that it would be more than half a century before it reopened. After all, our nations are separated by only 90 miles, and there are deep bonds of family and friendship between our people. But there have been very real, profound differences between our governments. And sometimes we allow ourselves to be trapped by a certain way of doing things.
Next, testimony on U.S. relations with Cuba and the response to attacks on U.S. embassy staff in Havana.
Cuba maintains close relations with Russia and China, providing these actors with influence platforms to foment an anti-American agenda.
I was just sitting at my desk, and I hear this chirping sound, like cicadas.
In June 2017, President Trump announced a change in the U.S. policy towards Cuba with the issuance of the National Security Presidential Memorandum. This action rolled back key parts of the Obama administration's failed Cuban policy.
At first, we thought it was just background noise, construction, or birds or insects, cicadas. We're in the Caribbean, after all. I had this splitting headache and then vertigo. I stood up to move away from the window, and it's...
Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you on the Department of State's efforts to coordinate a multi-agency response to the unexplained health attacks that have affected some members of Embassy Havana's diplomatic...
Hey Siri, send a voice note to the Menendez group chat.
Go ahead.
My darling children, I am still waiting on your ETAs.
Please answer your mother.
Sorry. I was still getting through Dee's latest voice message. Mark and I just landed. We'll be there in about an hour, right? We're waiting in line for the rental car.
I can't wait. The aunties are already here, helping out in the kitchen. And you can probably hear them.
I told you, measure garlic with your heart.
My God, are you sure? That much?
Ay, coño, mal. Talk with my mother. Her sofrito recipe, her rules.
Okay. Who am I to challenge the Abuela of the house?
DD, Juni, still waiting on you.
I've got work tonight. I'll drive down tomorrow morning first thing, okay? And I'll have you know, Lupe, the fact that you listen to my voice essays means you like what I have to say. So there.
You still haven't heard from Juni?
No word from Juni yet. You know how she is.
Can't wait to see you all. Love you.
Here in sunny Miami, it is a beautiful Thursday and a wonderful Thanksgiving Day. We hope you join us later for the
maybe
parade.
once in a while we should try a nuevo plato. Me gusta mashed potatoes.
Everything all right in here, ladies? Need any help?
No. If anything, we have too many cooks right now.
Oh, it is so good to have us all together again, though. Last year was horribly depressing.
This COVID cannot put too much strain in our family. We've been through much worse.
Is that your wife who's screaming like a banshee outside?
Lupe's a menace on the soccer field. Why do you think I escaped for a beer?
We've been split in ways that a simple bacteria cannot imagine inflicting.
It's a virus, Abuela.
Ay, Mommy, please. We know.
I'm heading back into the fray.
We only had each other. We came with nothing.
No, that's not what I mean. It's important that family comes back together, no matter what the world throws at us. Okay?
We know.
Do you? Because Mariano. Ay, Claire, mi niña linda. Ay. Where is Juniper?
Lupita. Lupe.
She's playing soccer outside with the kids.
Dee, your sister just texted the group chat. It's a voice memo. Probably letting us know where the hell she is. Can you listen to it for me and just let me know what it said?
She's probably just stuck on I-75, Claire. You should have told her to leave earlier. Thanksgiving traffic is hell. Where'd you say Juni's coming from?
Oh, who knows with that one, Mal. One month she's in Asia, and the next month I hear German in the background of all her calls. Miami is just a pit stop with her.
I bet she loves it. Your kids were so lucky, exploring the world like that so young.
Hi, Mom. Dad. Dee. Lupe. I am sorry. I am so sorry, but I don't think I'm going to make it for Thanksgiving. I've been caught up. I don't know when I'll be back. If I'll be back. For that reason, I think I owe you, all of you, an explanation. Wow. I can't believe I finally get to tell you. It's been so hard. You're my family. You all know me more than anyone else in the world. You know that, right? My whole life has only been fragments for other people. A few friends here, there. Only you four have seen me from beginning to, well, now. Even though you know nothing. Nothing about who I am, who I was, for 6 years. I am not sorry. I don't think I'm sorry. I'm just sorry I'm mixing Thanksgiving. Okay, here it goes. The truth sets you free, right? 6 years ago, I was recruited as an operations officer within the clandestine service of the Central Intelligence Agency. Since then, I have been working around the world for them. A recruiter myself. A recruiter of traitors and secret sharers. It's not as glamorous as the movies and books make it sound. It's been hard work. And I think for a while I lost myself in it. You should know that I'm not telling you all this because I've been compromised or captured. It's so much better than that. I am quitting. I'm getting out. This is my resignation letter. I have been living a lie for so long. I'm so tired. I've been lost. I don't know who I am anymore, what I am behind this mask, this persona I created to peek around curtains and through windows. Who would have thought? After all this, that it wasn't a dirty bomb or fucking sexual harassment at the farm that got me out. Illegitimis non coberandum and your little dogs too. I need to find the source, the truth. I know how to find it. Where to find it? It's not psychosis. Don't let them tell you that. So I'm sending this before they can get to you, before they even know where I went. Lupe, if you see the company, you know what to tell them. Mom, Dad, I am so sorry. I know I didn't tell you everything. I know you suspected what I was. I'm so sorry for lying to you. I had to. It was my job. You understand that. Better than anyone else I know. Dee, I love you. I hope you find your own truth soon. Don't give up. Walk 3,000 miles if you have to. Maybe I'll be back in time to hear it for myself. I need to go now. I don't know when I'll be able to speak again. It sounds like...
me. What is it?
It's Juni, Mom. You need to listen to her voice memo.
HAVANA Syndrome, Episode 1, Thanksgiving.
Hey Siri, send voice note to Juni.
Go ahead.
Hey Juni, I know you probably won't get this. I don't even know if you still have your phone. You probably don't. You've probably been talking to us via a burner phone or whatever spies use these days. A quantum digital scrambler? I don't know. I guess I've been poisoned by spy movies along with everyone else. I guess I am just trying... Okay. You've really got us freaked out here, Juni. Please, if you're getting these voice memos, I've kept it on so you can, I don't know, pull them up on your super secret base later. Wherever you are. Please, just let us know you're okay.
Voice note sent.
I'm trying really hard not to be angry at you, Juni, but Dad's called someone. I don't know who. He's been in the master bedroom all day talking on the phone. Is this a situation where you call the police? The FBI? The CIA? Do your employers even know yet? Are you even in the US anymore, or are you still in Cambodia? I know you said you've quit, but where the hell would you go? Fuck, are we gonna be blackboxed or whatever the hell these people do to families of traitors? Well, I guess they're your people now. We didn't tell the rest of the family, they've all just been told to leave. And Mal nearly threw a fit, the turkey's half-baked, but, what are we supposed to do? Do you realize what position you've put all of us in? What the hell have you done, Juni? What is going to happen to us?
Voice note sent.
Your phone's blowing up, if you haven't blown it up yourself. Look, I'm sorry for saying... Well, I bet whatever Lupe sent you was even worse, so... Still. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. I'm in the dark. I don't need to know everything if it's not safe for you. I just want to know you're okay. If you get this, please, at least get in touch with Mom and Dad. They're not doing good. Please, Juni, Jesus Christ.
Voice note sent.
We are not authorized to share much, but were you aware of Juniper's last known location?
She was stationed in Cambodia, Phnom Penh. We thought she was flying in for Thanksgiving days ago, but we assumed she was still in transit.
Was she planning to make any pit stops along the way? Layovers?
I'm not sure.
Does the FBI know where she was last seen?
I'm not authorized to say.
With all due respect, Agent, this is my goddamn daughter missing. We cannot help you if we are in the dark.
Do you still have the voice memo? You can show that to us.
Wait, you don't have a copy?
D?
Hush, the two of you. Apologies, Agent. But unless you have a warrant, no one in this household is going to hand over our phones.
Mr. Menendez, you are U.S. military. You understand that if you or any of your family are withholding any information or intelligence that could be damaging or threatening to the American people, you could be facing serious charges.
I do understand, perhaps better than most, about the significance of this situation. I am telling you that we are worried for our daughter because we don't know any more than you do. I also understand my rights.
The last place Juniper is suspected to be seen is Havana.
What?
Wait, Cuba?
Havana?
Cuba?
No way, Havana, Havana? You've got to be kidding.
Hold on. Juni had mentioned a sound. Something she's looking for. Peter?
Are you thinking this has to do with that thing, the sound weapon affecting people? Havana Syndrome?
What's Havana Syndrome?
I cannot divulge any more information at this point. It could really help us if we could get access to the original voice note she shared with you.
I'm sorry, sir. If you want us to answer any more questions, please return with a warrant. Is there anything else?
If Juniper reaches out to any of you, we highly recommend that you call us. Immediately.
You can be reached at the number on this card. The sooner we get more information about Juniper, the sooner we can find her. We also advise you to not leave the country for a few days as we continue our investigation.
Wait, that's not possible. We have a flight in 2 days.
Babe, it's fine. This is important.
No, it's not fine. I don't want to be barred from going home because Juni decided to go AWOL.
Lupe, right? Why don't we talk outside? Then we'll be on our way.
Fine.
Lupe, you should wait for a lawyer.
No, it's fine. I'll walk them out.
D, where are you going? Wait, are you recording?
No. I mean, recording cops isn't a crime.
Turn that off. Delete it now. Florida is a two-party consent state. That's a felony.
Oops.
You're really gone, aren't you? Some people came by just a few minutes ago. FBI. They didn't stay long. Thank God. I really thought they were all going to take us to some black site. They said that they were worried about you, that you had left your duty station, that you were acting strange before you went AWOL. They were both nice about it, but I don't know. I won't describe them. I think that's probably good informational security or whatever. I felt like all the politeness was perfectly manicured, you know? I don't know why I'm still talking to you like this. They said they knew we were sending messages to Juni's phone. I don't think they knew the content, though. They need, like, some kind of warrant or subpoena to get all that. Dad was also polite, all the calm military, yes sir, yes ma'am, right? But he told them that he wouldn't hand over any of our phones unless they get a warrant. Even for CIA operations officers. I guess the arm of the law still reaches people like you, Juni. They didn't exactly tell us to stop trying to contact you, only that if you respond that we should call a number they left behind with Dad. They were all like, anything you can tell us about what we know about Juniper, the sooner we can find her. We'll keep in touch. We advise you not to leave the country. You know, stuff like that. Lupe was a little concerned about them not leaving the country part. She and Mark want to be able to get back home, but, well... Anyway, the spooks mostly just wanted to talk with Mom and Dad. I don't know anything, and they clearly knew it, so they really didn't have anything to ask me. They talked with Lupe, though, alone, by their car before they left. Whatever Lupe knows, I don't think it was helpful to your colleagues. Wait, are the FBI your colleagues? Whatever. I watched as Lupe talked with them. They had weirdly calm expressions, and Lupe just seemed agitated. What does she know that I don't? Did you tell her what you were planning to do? She wouldn't tell me after they were gone. Mom is bugging at her about it, too. They're in the living room now. Dad didn't say anything. He's back in their room, probably trying to find some friend of his to go full SEAL Team 6 and root you out. Carefully, obviously. So, that's that. That's all I know. Pittance. No one else is talking to me. Dad says it's better if fewer people know what is going on, even me. I know you wouldn't have told Baby D anything. I know why, too. It's just... I wish you gave us something. A clue. Like you gave Lupe. If that was a clue. What's HAVANA Syndrome? What's the company? What is the weapon, or non-weapon, like you say? Are you getting us into some crazy international incident? Are we heading to the Cuban Missile Crisis or something? I guess none of these questions matter if no one is willing to let me in on the secret. It's not fair, Juni. It's not fair.
Voice note sent.
It's Black Friday now. I have always loved Black Friday. Everyone else is exhausted after filling themselves on turkey and pork and Abuelo's famous arroz y frijoles negro. All the dancing and rum and soccer and football. Only the most brave among the Menendez family head out to go shopping. Otherwise, it's a chill morning after. A gentle one. For us, in Miami, with our family, yeah. Thanksgiving has always been more like Christmas than Christmas, you know? That's what you said, right? That we know more than anyone else? We still had dinner, but it was a quiet affair. The frijoles didn't have long enough to cook. They were tough. Yeah. Today feels more like Good Friday than Black Friday. Not to make you into like a Christ figure. That's just, well, if not heretical, then even more depressing. You're not dead, you've just run away. I don't know what this thing is that you're chasing, Juni. I don't know if you're listening to these voice memos. I have to believe there's a reason your phone is still connected, somehow. Last night, Mom and Dad were talking in bed. I sat outside their room and listened to their conversation. Bet you're proud of me. Maybe spying runs in the family. Didn't record them, though. Don't want to get a felony along with treason, right? I just typed some stuff down on my phone. Anyway, so Mom said something like, "We should have seen the signs. Juni was complaining about that headache when she came by in June." And then Dad responded like, "HAVANA Syndrome is still not well understood, at least not publicly." And then he reminded Mom about that concussion you complained about last year. I can't remember exactly what he said, because I recognized that phrase, HAVANA Syndrome, and pulled it up on my phone. Is that what this is? The HAVANA syndrome? That you've been, I don't know, attacked by sound lasers, not falling off your bike in Berlin, I think you had said. I don't know what's going on, Juni, but I also know that HAVANA syndrome is real enough to make the news. It has hurt real people. Enough that they couldn't cover it up or brush it under the rug. It's serious. I must have listened to your voice now 50 times. I know you told us straight up that whatever they said happened to you would be a lie. But you also told me you wanted me to find my truth, Juni. Well, I don't know if I'm up for that. I don't know if I can. The truth is such an ephemeral thing. You're always better with those things, those esoteric beliefs. You're always the one to believe in conspiracy theories, fairy tales. My sister is missing. That is real. This disease, if you are suffering from it, it's real. The consequences of you leaving the CIA, Juni, it's real. I know you hate asking for it, but you need help. I don't know how, but there has to be something you've left behind. Some kind of clue. If it exists, I'll find it. I am going to find you, Juni.
Voice note sent.
You know, Get back to me. Let's talk this out.
Voice note sent.
I'm serious. This isn't funny. Tell me where you are, however you like. I'll be there. I promise.
Voice note sent.
You know what? Fuck you. After that visit, you're just gonna vanish?
Voice note sent.
Fine. Be dramatic. I'm done helping you. I'm gonna tell the cops everything. You did this to yourself. Fuck. Screw you, Juniper.
Voice note sent.
Hey, babe. I'm just sitting in the car. Don't worry, I'll be back in a minute. Love you.
Voice note sent.
Fuck! God. Fuck you! Fucking ungrateful, stupid, reckless? No! I'm not your keeper. This is it. I'm done.
Message deleted.
I thought it was odd because I had been hearing cicadas already outside, so I paid it no mind at first. But then all of a sudden it got stronger, like I was being hit with a migraine, but more intense, you know? I stumbled a little and I think maybe I do have a migraine. I never had one this intense before though. So I go down to the clinic in the embassy and, well, asked if I had been drinking enough water, which I know, it's obvious, but this is summer in the Caribbean, it's hot. So I showed them the massive water bottle I kept on my desk for that reason. I'm not dehydrated. They just proceed to prescribe me with some Tylenol and send me back to my desk. I couldn't help but feel like there was something wrong, though, with what I heard. And I couldn't shake this dizziness, not after an hour or so. And now the dizziness didn't subside, and I went to my supervisor, but he just told me to go home, get some rest. Maybe it's the hormones. They keep telling me maybe it's the heat, but it wasn't. I know what happened to me, and it only started after that day, that sound. And the dizziness, headaches wouldn't go away. Not after a day, not after a week. Now I'm having troubles focusing at work. I have to take more days off. I knew I wasn't crazy. I started talking to some of the other families in the embassy. Turns out, I wasn't the only one who heard that sound. We decided to take it higher, since everyone else wanted to brush this off as hysteria, as a bunch of folks who were dehydrated or hungover, but we're not. There's something strange going on, and no one seemed willing to do anything about it until we spoke up. I know as well as anyone else how important it is to keep things under wraps. But this needs to be investigated. Otherwise, I Otherwise, we might not ever know what this actually is.
26 individuals associated with Embassy Havana have incurred medically confirmed, unexplained symptoms and health effects since the department first became aware of these attacks on December 30th, 2016. Reported acute symptoms have included dizziness, headaches, tendinitis, fatigue, visual problems, ear complaints, hearing loss, and difficulty sleeping.
I very much appreciated, but one of the things we talked about were the attacks on our diplomatic personnel in Cuba and China and some other locations.
State Department personnel and others become victims of mysterious attacks. It was for a while called the Havana Syndrome. And a number of us have been quite concerned that we still don't know the source of those attacks. We still don't potentially have a full medical diagnosis.
If you recall, initially the thoughts were that this was some sort of acoustic attack. The symptoms initially appear to be localized to the acoustic, the ear system.
In the summer of 2018, I took a job with the U.S. State Department and was subsequently relocated to near the U.S. Embassy in Havana, Cuba. I was accompanied by my then wife and newborn child, my son. The government they set us up with a real nice 2-story powder blue bungalow. It was beautiful. My wife loved it. It had a nice fenced-in yard, the palm trees, and just the whole 9 yards. It was almost like a vacation that just never ended. We were quite happy there. That is until all of this started. The first instance of which happened, a couple months later, I guess, in the fall. I remember waking up one night. It must have been between 2 and 3 in the morning. And I was awoken to the sound of my son fussing in his bedroom, which was not unusual, especially for the previous month or so. He had been not sleeping well. And I remember looking at my wife, she was still asleep, and she wasn't feeling well at all either those previous few weeks. So I took it upon myself. I figured if my son didn't get himself back to sleep, I'd be the good dad, right? And make the bottle and get him back to sleep, all without disturbing my wife. In those 10 or 15 minutes I laid there waiting to see if my son would fall back asleep, I started to, as I woke more, I started to realize that this sound, and the nighttime ambience was entirely different. The house was only a few blocks south of the Malecón, that large seawall along the northern coast of Havana. And at all hours, all the time, you could hear the waves crashing against the wall, and it was a soothing noise, and it was a welcome kind of white noise to just kind of the atmosphere there. But at this time, I could not hear that. It was being drowned out by this noise, which I oftentimes struggle describing it, but others have described it much better than I. This kind of low, mechanical sounding oscillation. At points, it does almost sound natural, and I had made that cicada comparison before. and it's apt, but there is some sort of unnatural quality to it. This digital warbling almost, that it makes me feel uncomfortable even just thinking about it and trying to put into words what it sounds like. I could hear that constant at a fairly moderate level, not super loud. And I wonder if my son was what woke me up, or if it was this noise. But my son didn't fall asleep on his own, so I went to go check on him in his room, and as I neared his door and got closer to his room, the sound intensified, and it became louder and louder until I'm standing in his doorway looking at his crib, and the sound was almost overwhelming at that point. And I thought it best at that time to remove my son from the room, because I couldn't tell if the sound was originating from that room, or if it was coming from outside, or if it was faulty air conditioning or something. I honestly had no idea at that point, but I knew that I needed to get my son out of that room. So I moved through the room to pick him up, and as I passed by the window on my left, I'm hit by the noise at an indescribable volume. Impossibly loud. It felt like someone had physically punched me in the temple, just here on the side of my head. And I was instantly overcome with intense nausea, headache, vertigo. I remember stumbling forward into the crib, actually, and managing to catch myself on it, and taking that moment to try to process what exactly was happening. And the prevailing emotion at that time was, I wasn't fear, it was mostly anger at the fact that whatever this was affecting not only me, but most likely affecting my son. So I remember picking him up and moving to exit the room, and it became clear at this point that the path in front of the window was where the sound was the strongest. I was hit again with whatever this was, the sound, on the right side of my head. And I thank God every day that somehow I managed to keep my footing and not drop my son. Or it could have been a lot worse. Because the stairs aren't far from his bedroom door. But I managed to make it out of the room and back to my bedroom, and I woke up my wife, who almost immediately after waking her up, she was already feeling a lot of these symptoms that I was feeling. And I remember her asking, what's that sound? What is that? And I remember, and it's one of the worst feelings in the world, really, is I remember not, and we still don't have an answer. I didn't have an answer for her. And I handed her my son, and I told her that she needed to stay there in that bedroom, as far away from my son's room as she could, while I tried to figure out what this threat was. And after the fact, my wife had actually told me that throughout that entire interaction, I was almost completely incoherent. Just slurring my words and missing words and just struggling to put sentences together. But without knowing exactly what this threat was, I I felt it was necessary to get my service weapon out of my safe in my closet. And I remember kneeling down in front of it and just struggling to recall, not even just my combination, just struggling to recall what these symbols were on this keypad. I must have stared at it for 30 seconds, a minute maybe. And I must have attempted to put my combination in a few times, and I just couldn't function properly or remember. So I remember grabbing the closest thing that could be used as a weapon, which actually happened to be a shoehorn that was in the closet there. And as I moved to my son's room, I remember telling myself that I needed to find out what this was. Whatever this was attacking us, attacking my family, and could be potentially attacking other people's families. And as I moved towards the window to open the blinds and try to see exactly what was making this noise, it hit me again, and just square dead on. And I remember just doing my best to withstand it and open that window, and I just couldn't. It was just overwhelming. And I remember falling to a knee and moving off to the side and just feeling defeated and confused and scared for me and my family. And before I could even think or figure out what I was going to do next, it stopped.
Hi, everyone. This is Lisette Alvarez, the creator and producer behind HAVANA Syndrome. Just a few housekeeping notes so you know what you're about to embark on. HAVANA Syndrome is a 12-episode audio spy thriller and alternative reality game. That means there are virtual and, yes, in-person puzzles to explore and find. Our first geocache opens in Crosstown Arts in Memphis, Tennessee on December 6, 2024 from 5 to 8 p.m. I'd love to see you. I will be hosting a reverse escape room experience where you will be breaking into Juniper's abandoned office. With that being said, the virtual clues are already here. We will be releasing episode 2 tomorrow, Black Friday, and the rest of the episodes every Thursday through February 6th. I suggest you pay attention to the outros in the coming weeks. More clues will be revealed for those who would like to dive deeper into the mystery of HAVANA Syndrome. If you would like to get a bit of a behind-the-scenes peek, I recommend you check out our recent audio documentary podcast, Once Upon a Time in Havana, the story of how I was the first person in my family to go back to Cuba in over 60 years. Finally, this season has been entirely self-funded. If you are already hyped up for more seasons, like I am, you can support us by becoming a patron on Patreon, or head over to our shop on our website and checking out the merch, including hand-printed t-shirts, posters, and even an in-universe puzzle box. The puzzle box is currently discounted 60% on our store in celebration of our premiere. Stay tuned, stay connected, and of course, thank you for listening. Dimitri Menendez is played by Ralph Ruiz. Guadalupe Menendez is played by Adriene Arce. Claire Menendez is played by Emily Buza. Peter Menendez is played by Andrew Dos Santos. Mark Williams is played by Nick Folson. Aunt Gloria and Abuela are played by Yenni Ann. Aunt Mal is played by Jayme Mantos. Special Agent David Foreman is played by Brendan Adams. His fellow FBI agent is played by Jacob Beals. HAVANA Syndrome Victim 1 is played by Nashya, Shiwdin, Havana Syndrome Victim 2 is played by Ken Dillon. Juniper Menendez is played by Lisette Alvarez. Havana Syndrome is written and produced by Lisette Alvarez. This is a Stormfire Productions podcast.